You know, President Biden's expressed a desire to have, quote, I'm reading this as a quote, a predictable and rational relationship with Russia and Vladimir Putin. Markets, they don't seem too concerned this morning. They're up in the green. What do you see as the best case and potential worst case of this call?
So I think the best case is that Biden and Putin establish a rapport that allows that the diplomatic conversations are a release valve. Worst case is that Putin really starts to press the Biden administration, really tries to see what he can do to further exacerbate issues within the NATO alliance, and say that he is going to push forward with military exercises in a potential invasion with the Ukraine. I think at the core here is a desire from Putin to establish Russian supremacy within the region. He is very concerned about the Ukraine potentially joining NATO. And I think he is really trying to see what he can do to get the United States to respond with an audience of China watching here, and China looking to see whether or not the NATO alliance is holding firm and whether the United States continues to back up their support for various NATO allies.
Right. So China's watching, but so are U.S. investors and U.S. voters. As I mentioned before, markets don't seem too concerned. Dow looking like it could pop about 300 points at the open. But I think we'll have to kind of ask, what would be the potential fallout of a tense call or where there are reports after this call that there is tension? And also, I just have to ask for myself, what does President Biden have to gain by by the Ukraine joining NATO, or that timetable for them to join being sped up? Why not just let this go for a minute?
Yeah, Frank, I think you are outlining the key issues here in terms of the market right now has so many other worries that they're dealing with. To me, this is more of a significant risk for 2022. I have had calls from clients. I had a call late last night with a head of a fund who is very concerned about this, not willing to react just yet. But this here could add to kind of other worries should we kind of be in a down market. People do not want to see a geopolitical risk, but you're right. For right now, the market is pushing this aside. What we're going to see in D.C. is the passage of a defense authorization bill. We're going to see more defense spending. Any of these issues probably good near to medium term for defense stocks. For the larger market, what they're going to need to see before they react to that is a significant escalation. And I think part of the reason why the market is not reacting just yet, Frank, is because they see multiple steps in potential release valves. Is there a back off of supporting Ukraine's admission into NATO? Is there other sanctions? Do we go after the Nord Stream pipeline even more with sanctions before there would be the nuclear option, which is denying any payments coming out of Russia from the SWIFT financial system? That really would be what the market would get really concerned with. And we're probably at least 2 to 3 steps, if not more, away from those type of decisions.
And let's hope the nuclear option's off the table metaphorically or any other way when it comes to all these superpowers talking. Let's just take that out of our vocabulary just for a second. I have to ask you, is this a zero-sum game? Is there a way for everybody to win? Is there a way for President Biden to look good? Is there a way for Ukraine to enter NATO? Is there a way for Vladimir Putin not to lose face here? Is there some way for everybody to kind of win?
I'm not sure if there's a way for everyone to win. I think it's hope is that nobody fully loses. And I think it is important that, I use that term nuclear option, but all of the options on the table so far are through economic means from the United States and our NATO allies. And that is a show of how much kind of the geopolitical shift has been into the economics. Long term, I think what Putin would want to see is that it makes it unattainable for the Ukraine to fully join NATO. That would be his goal. That is a real concern for a long time within the Russian government, is just how close we are seeing encroachment of NATO allies onto the Russian border. So that would be a win for Putin. Probably kind of the country that gets the short stick here would be once again the Ukraine.